We have to go up now.
Yeah.
We have maybe a couple on lines. Okay. All right, I am calling to order the September 15th, 2025 Planning Board meeting. Just prior to rising for the pledge, when we do so, I would ask that we offer a moment of silence for the assistant principal that we lost in a tragic death, and just give our solemns to that principal. And at this time, then we can rise for the pledge. First, with a moment of silence. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Doreen, would you call the roll?
Rick King,
Here.
Rachel Henriksen,
Here.
Roger Bailey,
Here.
Jennifer Ladd, here, James Hebert,
Here.
Wilson, and Tyler Davis is absent.
Very good. This is welcoming Will to his first official meeting as a sworn in planning board member, and we're glad to have you. Super. All right, we have a quorum, so let's move forward. In your packet, you received the minutes from the meeting on August 18th, 2025. I would entertain a motion to enter those into the record.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Roger. Any discussion? Seeing none, would you call the roll, Doreen?
Rick King,
Yes.
Rachel Henriksen,
Yes.
Roger Bailey,
Yes.
Jennifer Ladd,
Yes.
and James Hebert.
Yes.
All right, tonight we have 5, I think, items for discussion. The first one being holding a public hearing to receive comments on our proposed amendments to Chapter 405 zoning ordinance, Section 4 administrative, subsection G certificate of occupancy, and Section 7 flexible development standards, subsection B performance standards to amend administrative titles and include reference to the Maine Uniform Building and Energy Code.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is a fairly simple housekeeping matter. In 2010, the state statute started requiring that municipalities in Maine comply with MUBEC. And so these ordinances are somewhat of a hangover on our website and a cleanup. So we are creating a new chapter 401C, which is not before you. It doesn't have to come before this body, but it's part of it that just acknowledges adoption of MUBEC. And then we are cleaning up a bit of our zoning ordinance to have the right titles in place for code enforcement officer rather than building official. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
All right, thank you, Autumn. This matter is up for public comment. Anyone from the public wish to make a comment? Please go to the podium. Nobody's running up there from here, so I'll ask online. Very well. Public comment is closed, and I'll turn this over to the board. In no particular order. Anybody have any additional thoughts on this to pass on? Again, this will go to the full town council. Yeah, go ahead.
Question for staff. Correct me if I'm wrong, it's the IECC, the International Energy Code, that's also with this MUBEC update as well, right?
Well, I can answer that one.
Yeah,
That is all, the MUBEC is all the international codes, so all the ICCs. Included in that is the IBC, the IRC, the IMC, the IEEC, which you refer to.
awesome.
So it's a multi-stacked volume of codes.
Awesome. No, thank you, Mr. Chair. The only reason I mention that is I know with Maine adopting the recent, most up-to-date IECC in April, they have impacts to site lighting and control that we would want to see as far as future projects that come before us, a little bit more stringent than what we currently have. So just a thought to throw out there.
These have been in place, MUBEC has been in place. We haven't been using what I'm getting rid of for 15 years, but we are under the 2021. So if there's anything in there that you think we should pull out and add to our site plan ordinance, would you give me that offline? That'd be
I will.
great. Thank you.
Yep.
Good pickup. Thanks, James. Anyone else? No, the only thing I would bring to the table here is potentially looking at Scarborough adopting the MUBEC stretch code. This is a provision within the MUBEC that allows for municipalities to adopt the MUBEC stretch code, which essentially is the MUBEC code, but the construction and the enforcement of that would be that there'd be proof of additional 15% energy savings based on whatever you want to do. It's kind of a prescriptive way of saying, okay, if you want to put better windows in and you can prove that you're going to meet a higher threshold than the base code, that's great, but nobody has to do that today. They just have to meet the base code. And given that MUBEC has that provision of allowing municipalities to go one step further and adopt the stretch code, I just wonder if we might want to put the bug in the town council's ear and maybe potentially suggest the sustainability committee take this up and maybe go back to the ordinance committee with, obviously there's some impacts that would happen, whether it's an increase in cost or what have you, but the savings may be over the lifetime of that building may be better than the cost of doing that upgrade. And so I would suggest that we send this back to town council with the ask of exploring the opportunity of adopting the stretch code. Anybody have any comments to that? Go ahead. Yeah, Will.
I would strongly support that. I think the cheapest dollar is today's dollar, and even though it might have upfront costs, that would be, I think, beneficial for the entire town and community going forward.
The best energy saved is the energy not used, right? All right. Anybody else have anything? Do you have what you need, Autumn?
Thank you.
Thank you, folks. We'll move on and jump up to action item 4.02, and they do land surveys on behalf of John C. and Donna L. Grondin is requesting a subdivision plan amendment to allow for a lot line adjustment between 8 and 10 Red Barn Circle, Assessors Map R96, lot numbers 924 and 925. Helen, I think you're going to introduce this one?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. So this is a lot line adjustment at Settlers Green Estates 2. It's between two lots who would essentially be swapping to 840 square foot parcels between the two lots. So equal exchange of square footage. And this came about, it was proposed as a way to resolve an unintended lot line encroachment in 2016 when one of the residents built a pool shed that was unbeknownst to them encroaching on the lot line. And staff doesn't have any comments on this one. It's fairly straightforward. So we recommend this move forward as a consent item. But the applicant is here if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Helen. This item is up for public comment. Anyone wishing to make a comment, please step to the podium. Seeing none in the audience, anyone online? No hands up. I'm closing public comment and turning this.
Are we going to hear from the?
Oh, maybe we should hear from the applicant, huh?
As staff, we offered that they did not have to speak unless you all had any questions for them, since we were recommending it to be a consent item. We have 2 of these tonight.
Sorry about that, but thank you for the procedural clarification. So with that, anybody want to offer any comments or questions that staff might be able to answer regarding this? It seems to me a very minor change in the lot line so that that shed with the pool can now go into the proper owner's property. Go ahead, Rachel.
Yeah, it seems that it's pretty straightforward and I see no problem with it. And it looks though the neighbors figured out how to handle this between themselves in a way that both are happy, I hope.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, then I have a motion here. I move to approve the lot line adjustments to lots 24 and 25 of Settlers Green Estates 2, proposed by John C. and Donald L. Grondin, as depicted in plan set prepared by Nadu Land Surveys dated 8/11/25 with the following findings and conditions. Findings: the amendment constitutes the third subdivision amendment to Settlers Green Estates 2. This includes revision of the lot lines between lots 24 and 25 at 8 and 10 Red Barn Circle. The proposed lot line adjustment swaps two 839.6 square feet parcels into 2 lots. The planning board finds the project meets the requirements of the subdivision and zoning ordinance with the following conditions. Condition 1, all conditions from the July 2nd, 2014 Second Amendment amended subdivision shall apply. This should be reviewed by the planning department. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Roger. With that, Doreen, you want to take the roll?
Rick Monking,
Yes.
Rachel Hendrickson,
Yes,
Roger Bailey,
Yes.
Jennifer Ladd,
Yes.
and James Hebert.
Yes.
All right, moving to item 4.03, Gen 2 Realty LLC is requesting subdivision amendment review for Lot 2 of the 3 lot, where am I here? Gen Road Property Subdivision. The amendment will relocate the access easement in order to better serve Lot 3 with a proposed new easement running along the western boundary of Lot 2. The property is located at 8 Ginn Road, Assessors Map R40, Lot 11. And Helen, you want to introduce this one?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. This is another subdivision amendment that's fairly straightforward that staff is offering as a consent item because we did not have any comments of our own. As you already mentioned, this is essentially moving the existing access easement towards the property line between lots 2 and 3 to provide for better access from lot 3, but the existing utility easement would stay where it is currently. This is in the B3 district. And I guess this time I should say the applicant is available if you have any questions. And I'll pass it back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Helen. And certainly if the applicant is here and would like to step to the podium to further introduce this? No. Any? Right. Thank you. Still on Alaska time, sorry. This item is open for public comment. Anyone wishing, please step to the podium. Nobody. Closing public comment. And now we can discuss this. In no particular order, anyone have any concerns or questions as it relates to this subdivision amendment? Excellent. Seeing none, I do have a motion. I move to approve the second amendment to the Ginn Road property subdivision proposed by Gen 2 Realty LLC as depicted in plan set prepared by Sebago Technics dated 6/26/25 with the following findings and conditions. Findings, the amendment constitutes the second amended subdivision of Ginn Road property subdivision. This includes amending Lot 2 by redefining an access and utility easement on this lot. The amendment will relocate the access easement in order to better serve Lot 3 with the proposed new easement running along the western boundary of Lot 2. The existing utility easement will remain in place while the existing access easement will be removed and relocated. The planning board finds that the project meets the requirements of the subdivision and zoning ordinances with the following conditions. Condition 1, all conditions from the February 7th, 2013 approval of the first amended subdivision shall apply. This shall be reviewed by the planning department. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Rachel. Doreen, would you take the roll?
Rick Manking,
Yes.
Rachel Hendrickson,
Yes.
Roger Bailey,
Yes.
Jennifer Ladd,
Yes.
and Gene Seibert.
Yes.
Thank you, folks. Moving right along here on item 4.04, Goral Palmer, on behalf of 4 Highlands Avenue LLC, Sawyer Road subdivision, has requested final subdivision review for one parcel to be subdivided into 4 square foot or single-family lots with access to Sawyer Road. This subdivision is located at 123 Sawyer Road, Assessor's Map R58, Lot 24. Helen, you want to run this one?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. So this is a final subdivision review for the subdivision at Sawyer Road. It received preliminary approval at the last planning board meeting on August 18th. It's a 4-lot residential subdivision in the VR4 district. And I just wanted to mention a couple items from the previous discussion that the board might wish to follow up with the applicant on, including the provision of a sidewalk along the subdivision, which staff has been in conversation with the applicant regarding. The existing bridge and trail connection also came up, as well as stormwater improvements in the surrounding area from other projects. There is an existing dwelling and garage, and the garage will be removed as part of this subdivision, and the applicant is available if you have any questions.
Thank you, Helen. And for the applicant?
Could I have access? All right, I guess that's not gonna work, so we'll just view like this. Nope. All right, good evening. My name is Trevor Gettig. I'm a project manager at Goral Palmer. On behalf of Todd Rotondi and Ethan Martin from 4 Highland Ave LLC, we are bringing to the board the final subdivision application for the Sawyer Road subdivision. It is a 4-lot subdivision at the existing 123 Sawyer Road. As Helen mentioned, we received preliminary approval at August 18th meeting. As you will see here, the property is located at the red line along Sawyer Road near the intersection of Sawyer Road and Gorham Road. It's about a 1.5 acre site that is currently an existing single-family home with an existing garage. As we discussed last time, it is planned to be subdivided into 4 lots, with the garage being demolished, the existing septic and well to be removed and connect to public utilities. As you will see here on the drainage plan, slightly different than probably the plans we submitted. Based on discussions with the town, we have revised the utility connections to be condensed into 2 locations for 2 trenches rather than 4 individual trenches, reducing the impact to Sawyer Road. The site is to be treated by a bioretention cell located in the southwest corner of the lot. This will be drained to with drainage swales. See the blue lines there will direct sort of the runoff of the site to the drainage swale before it is sent back to the rear of the parcel where there's a brook that drains to Millbrook. And as you will see here on our subdivision plan, we have revised our access easement to the stormwater facility to be located on the most western portion of Lot 4. And we are working with the town in regards to the off-site sidewalk that will be either proposed or an in-lieu fee in front of this site. And all other comments were previously addressed.
Thank you, Trevor. This item is available for public comment. Anyone wishing to comment, please step to the podium. Anyone online?
No hands up.
No hands up. I'm closing public comment and turning this over to the board. As Helen mentioned, we saw this one last month. They had to do some housekeeping and some buttoning up. Glad to hear the conversation on the sidewalk occurred and you're in agreement to making sure that the length along this property is now going to at least have funding for future sidewalk as the town moves forward with that infrastructure. Angela.
I just want to speak to that because you'll see in the motion or draft motion that was put in front. I have had conversations with the design engineer about the next piece of sidewalk. So where you're seeing the frontage for this subdivision is literally 300 feet from our multi-use path on Gorham Road. So it's a very short little segment. And so the town has asked Goral Palmer for cost to extend their design for the town to pay for design and possible construction of that 300-foot segment so that we could have an extended sidewalk back to our multi-use path. So that's what we're trying to get to and move forward with. And it sounds like there is some agreement there. So we'll see how that goes. But that is the goal, is to get a larger connection to the network with a partnership, a private-public partnership.
So I'm seeing a nod from you that
Yes, I owe
you and the applicant
I owe
are.
Angela a proposal for that work so that we can, it's coming. So that we can work on potentially actually the construction from the left side of this all the way to Gorham Road intersection.
Well, as you mentioned, that will be a condition that we will put forward in a motion if this was to move forward. Any comments from my colleagues? Roger.
Thank you. Just a clarification on, I asked you about the bridge and the trails last time you were here. So the bridge is going to be right behind or connected with Lot 1 as it is right now. Is there anything in the plans to indicate that there's going to be public access to that bridge?
Well, that's part of the offsite discussion here to make sure that if there is an easement down to there for the public, we are working on upgrading or have ensured that the upgrade of that bridge will be for safe for pedestrian use, to be utilized potentially by the public or as whole, depending on how the sidewalk connection works, whether it's a future easement or an easement down to that area.
My impression is it's mostly used by the kids going to the school campus, and with the cottages at Sawyer, there should be more kids in there. So I just want to make sure that, because those trails, there's a number of trails that wrap right around the middle school. And they're all informal trails, but
Yeah.
I think it's an important way, it gets the kids off the streets also. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thanks, Roger. Rachel?
Yeah, I'm looking at the staff comments, and they indicate and recommended conditions of approval. Have you provided the ability to serve approval from the Scarborough Sanitary District?
We actually received that from the superintendent today.
Okay, good. Another comment, coordinate with the developer of cottages at Sawyer subdivision to tie into the private force main in Sawyer. Have you?
Yeah, that's also part of the sanitary district's approval is required. So we've reached out to, I believe his name's Mark O'Leary, begin that discussion so that we can get our connection approved through him.
So you haven't yet gotten the connection approved?
We're working with the owner of the force main at this time.
But at this time, you don't have an approved connection?
No,
We were recommending that be a condition of approval, that they get that. The sanitary district so those force mains will eventually belong to the Scarborough Sanitary District, but they have not accepted those, but they are comfortable with them as long as they can get approval from Mark O'Leary to tie into them. They have acknowledged in the memo that we received today from Dave Hughes that there may be a cost associated with that the sanitary district will not participate in. It will be up to this developer to make sure that that works.
All right, that's not mentioned at all in the conditions in the draft motion.
No, the draft motion simply says provide a performance, sorry, can't find this one.
Performance guarantee.
The staff comments are the first thing that are part of the draft motion that they have to address all of the staff comments. And those are the recommended conditions of approval.
Okay.
So that was it. Just didn't want to do them twice. We were trying to hold back on reading.
Thank you.
Keeping it
Would-
more brief.
Well,
I'm happy to put a,
Sure.
because I think it is important that we at least acknowledge that in this motion, it is in present, not signed off on.
it becomes very easy for staff comments to get lost.
It does
and
not actually, in
not
fact,
connected.
for the way that we do them, we don't allow them to record the subdivision until they've addressed all of the staff comments. So that's kind of our next steps. We have to have condition compliance plan sets, and we have to get all of these things signed off before they can continue on in their process.
Okay. All right, I'm done.
All right, thanks, Rachel. Anyone else? Go ahead, James.
Nothing too much from me, Mr. Chairman. I'm in agreement with everything here, including the staff comments. I'm very pleased to see that there is going to be a sidewalk as part of this project. Again, even mentioned at the very beginning of the meeting, and we mentioned last month, today's dollars are less expensive than tomorrow's dollars. So I'm happy to see that going forward. Thank you.
Thanks, James. Anyone else? Seeing none, I do have a motion here. I move to approve the final subdivision plan of Sawyer Road subdivision proposed by 4 Highland Avenue LLC. The project is depicted in plan sets prepared by Goral Palmer dated 8/19/25. Findings. The proposal is for a 4-lot subdivision containing 3 new residential lots located at 123 Sawyer Road. The property is approximately 1.54 acres and currently contains 1 single-family home and 1 garage. The garage will be demolished to allow for the proposed subdivision. The board finds the project meets the requirements of the subdivision ordinance, zoning ordinance with the conditions below. Conditions 1, prior to release of the subdivision plan for recording, the applicant shall address staff comments in the 9/15/2025 memo. This is in regards to the sidewalk. The town is working with Goral Palmer to provide a sidewalk design for the 300 feet of this subdivision project to the Gorham Road multi-use path. The town intends to construct this missing piece of the sidewalk, and therefore the applicant is required to construct sidewalk along their parcel frontage in order to make connections to the sidewalk network. B, address traffic solutions comments in the memo dated 8/26/25. C, address Haley Ward comments in the memo dated 9/2/25. D, provide a performance guarantee required by Section 9 of the Town of Scarborough subdivision ordinance. This shall be reviewed by the town engineer. And E, coordinate street names and addressing with the E911 addressing officer. This shall be reviewed by the planning department. Condition 2, prior to the start of the construction of a pre-construction meeting is required. The meeting shall include appropriate town staff, the developer, and their site contractor, and is to be coordinated through the planning department. The below must be addressed prior to scheduling the pre-construction meeting. A, the applicant shall execute and record a stormwater maintenance agreement with the town. The form of the stormwater maintenance agreement is located in Appendix 1 of the Town of Scarborough's Chapter 419, Post-Construction Stormwater Infrastructure Management Ordinance. B, pay the Chapter 419 Stormwater Maintenance Agreement and reporting fee. The total is $750. Provide the full final plan set to the planning department. This shall include all site and civil plans, landscape plans, DWG plans, lighting plans, and architectural renderings and elevations. D, the payment of all review fees and invoices. And E, pay the traffic impact fees totaling $1,765. This shall be reviewed by the planning department. Condition 3, prior to the issuance of a final or third certificate of occupancy, the applicant shall submit evidence in the form of a letter or plan prepared and stamped by a professional engineer who either prepared the post-construction stormwater management plan and its associated facilities or supervised the plan and facilities construction and implementation. The letter shall certify that the stormwater management facilities have been installed in accordance with the approved post-construction stormwater management plan and that they will function as intended by said plan. B, construct a sidewalk along Sawyer Road, the full length of frontage for the project. This shall be reviewed by the planning department. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Roger. Doreen, you want to go call the roll?
Rick Montague,
Yes.
Rachel Henderson,
Yes.
Roger Bailey,
Yes.
Jennifer Ladd,
Yes.
and James Seibert.
Yes.
All right, moving right along here, we are on item 4.05. M&R Holdings LLC and Acorn Engineering on behalf of Cross Street Condominiums LLC are requesting an amended site plan review for a multifamily development on Lot 4 of the Downs Town Center. This amendment replaces the structured carports with 5 enclosed garage structures for a total of 45 parking bays. This development is located at the corner of Scarborough Downs Road with frontage and pedestrian access along Cross Street. Assessors map R52, Lot 4. Helen, you want to give us a Reader's Digest version?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. So as you mentioned, this is an amended site plan review for Lot 4 in the Downtown Center subdivision. This site plan was originally approved in June of 2023 and subsequently amended in February of 2024. Again, as you mentioned, it's a proposal to replace the structured carports that were originally part of that proposal with 5 enclosed garages instead, and this is in the Crossroads Plan Development District. And I just wanted to give one note on parking before I pass it back to you. The total number of parking spaces for this remains the same at 169 spaces, but the applicant is requesting 7 or proposing 7 on-street parking spaces as part of this amended site plan, and they've provided an updated parking scorecard to that effect. And the applicant is available if you have any questions.
Thanks, Helen. Dan, long time no see.
Good evening. Good to see you, board and board chair. Dan Bacon here on behalf of Crossroads Holdings, M&R, and also, I guess, Cross Street condominiums, more specifically. As introduced, this is a pretty simple change. During the selling process of the condominiums, we've discovered that garages are much more desirable than carports, and are proposing to shift the design of, or the intention around covered parking from carports to garages. The site plan doesn't change really in much any way. It's the specific locations where carports were planned, is that we're proposing garages. And Pete on our team from Acorn has worked on, minor adjustments to, stormwater and just kind of site details to accommodate garages versus carports. But on this plan, you'll see outlined in the red clouded area, the garage locations. Again, they're the same as the carport locations, just minor tweaks to the site plan. And as noted in staff comments, we're looking to coordinate architecture. I wanted to bring up both a photo and also a rendering of the building 1, the first building that's nearing completion, actually, of the 2 buildings. That's a photo taken from the corner of Cross Street and Scarborough Downs Road. The image on the right side, the image on the left side is a rendering of a slightly different view looking at from Cross Street towards the eastern edge of the building. And from an architectural standpoint, there's the accent color in material on the main building is a coffee espresso, kind of a dark brown color. Working with our architecture team, we selected that as the color of the garages. And that's shown in your packages and also shown here. And we felt it was the right approach to use an accent color to be more subdued than the primary building, and also all one color so that it's uniform and consistent in that way. Other than that, a few of the staff comments around kind of working with public safety. We've reached out to them in terms of addressing, and Pete's checked on the lighting. The lighting complies with the town's requirements, et cetera. So I think, and also we have the updated scorecard, as was mentioned by Helen. So with that, I'll turn it back to you, Mr. Chair, and happy to answer questions. And Pete is here as well to answer questions.
Thanks, Dan. This item is open for public comment. Anyone wishing to comment, please go to the podium. Anyone online?
No hand.
Very well. Public comment is now closed. Turning this over to my colleagues. I do have a couple of questions, Dan. I'm looking at the rendering of those garages that you provided. Are there going to be any outside lights, or is there power to those? And if there are lights going on there, how does that change the photometrics of the overall
Sure, there are
project?
a few wall pack lights, and I'll let Pete speak to the details of the photometrics. And there'll be power also for garage door
Openers and
well as-
potential for EV chargers?
Correct, yeah, there's conduit for EV chargers as well. but I'll let Pete speak to the lighting.
Thanks.
Yep, good evening, Pete Heil, Acorn Engineering. So as part of the submission package, we did provide an updated photometric plan showing conformance with the lighting levels. But to your question, as part of the old design, the carports also had wall packs, so as part of the infrastructure that went in the ground. The infrastructure is already there, so we're reusing the existing infrastructure already in place. The locations of the wall packs are slightly different than what was previously approved. But as Dan mentioned, some new wall packs are proposed on the side of the garages, mostly to light the parking areas and or drive aisles as you're pulling into those garages.
Thanks for that. And I'm not raining on your thunder, James, if you have any more on the lighting. But I'll end my comments with, I think this is certainly, you probably heard it from potential buyers of these condominiums that garages are more desirable than carports. Construction wise, would they be able to hold and withstand the weight of a solar by chance?
Yeah, we're designing them to be kind of solar ready in that
Great.
regard. Yep.
Okay. Well, I'm pleased to see this come through and provide this sort of amenity for future owners. And I'll turn this over to anyone that wishes. Go ahead, James.
Just on that same vein of the garage lighting, what's going to be the control mechanisms for this? Is there going to be an occupancy sensor as you approach? They turn on, turn off. Is it going to be manual? Is it going to be a timed switch?
It would be for the wall packs that are also lighting the parking lot. They're going to be timed and controlled concurrent with the parking lot lighting. So that
Okay.
they come on in the, at dark and then go off at a reasonable time in the evening. So that'll be controlled in the same manner as the parking lot lighting.
Okay. And if somebody wants to go out there at like 11 at night to go check on something, are they going to have like a manual override that they can turn a light
I
on?
believe so, but we can check on that.
Okay, I would just probably make sure that's there just for usability.
For
If
sure.
somebody's arriving
That's-
late from something.
It's a great thought. Yeah.
The other question I have is regarding the parking. With the introduction of the garage bays here, did I hear correctly that there's going to be utilization of on-street parking as well? So I guess explain that to me a little
To
bit.
meet the town's ordinance requirement for parking for this number of units, we're designating 7 of the on-street spaces or utilizing 7 of the on-street spaces to count towards the off-street parking requirement, like we're allowed to by ordinance and have been doing in some other circumstances. Across the street, 3i Home, I believe, is using 3 of the on-street spaces, for example. We think it makes a lot of sense, particularly, I was say the first building, but both buildings, the ground floor units along the street have direct entries to the sidewalk. So in those cases, the parking is actually closer to those particular units than the parking lot parking.
Is the on-street you're referring to the spots on Arcade Way?
No, actually, Arcade Way is a private drive. It's a named drive, so that's a part of the parking lot. I'm referring to, if you can see the cursor, Scarborough Downs Road, in this image here.
Okay.
Has 11 on-street parking spaces, and then Cross Street has, I think, 10 or 11 as well. And those, right up against the sidewalk where there are entries to the ground floor units.
And those are going to be designated like for this particular building, or are they just going to be?
They're not going to be designated, no. We are keeping a tally on our scorecard of the number of spaces that we're kind of counting that are on-street parking spaces that count towards the off-street parking requirements.
Okay, thank you, Dan. I guess I'll let others speak to parking who are more in tune with it than I am, that have been more experienced with this. But that's all I have. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thanks, James. Anyone else? Jen?
I have a couple questions. One more about lighting specifically. And I don't recall, but I'm guessing because I think of a carport as sort of a wall-less structure. I'm wondering if it looks on the plans, it looks like there's a couple locations where the back of these now garages will meet up against the sidewalks or sort of internal walkways to the parking lot. And so I'm curious if you'll be proposing wall pack lighting there as well.
Yeah, so I'm just looking at the photometric plan that I've printed out. But sorry. So the only garage that's gonna be kind of abutting the sidewalk is this one right here. The others are, this is kind of back to back to lot 7. These will be literally joined back to back for this one and this one. But there is a wall pack shown on the garage approximately right here to provide lighting levels for the sidewalk in tandem with a previously approved light pole that's in this location.
Okay. And the structure just planned north of that doesn't have a wall against the sidewalk there, or is it short
That
enough
one.
that it's covered by?
So on that one,
Lighting.
there's an existing or previously approved light pole location right here. So that's how that sidewalk gets lighting.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Yep.
Let's see. I think the only other question that I have, I'm curious, Dan, if you could actually give us a little more information about what you're hearing and why you decided to make the switch from carports to garages. Sort of what the requests from the market are asking for specifically. Or why?
Well, it's a game of telephone because the realtors are having all the direct conversations. But I think some of the characteristics are the ability to have a fully enclosed garage. So the carports were designed to, with slats and be fairly open. So keeping vehicles out of the weather entirely. And also, I think part of it too was kind of ensuring that when somebody buys a garage, they control access to the garage versus a carport's really like a covered parking space.
Mhm.
So having a bit more control over something that they're spending money on, like acquiring, because with a condominium, you actually get a deed for not just your unit, but your parking space or garage. And also just the 4 season kind of nature of snow and keeping a vehicle out of the snow, out of ice, etc. Again, a carport's covered, but not really out of the elements entirely.
Sure.
So those are some of the things we've heard. And it's a bit unconventional. There's carports here and there, but it's not a common form of covered parking. When a garage is, everybody knows what a garage is.
Sure. And I believe the plan previously was for some or all of the carports to be EV ready also, right? Which I know that you're planning to carry over to
Yeah,
to
we are.
these as well. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I just couldn't remember.
Yep.
Okay. I asked that. I didn't want to offer this first, but I wanted to let you answer. But I was curious if you were hearing anything about because I know, a lot of the questions here are around like are these two, and no one's required to have any car, or there's not like a maximum number of cars that you could have to live in any of these units or any units, but sort of one space per unit or 2 spaces per unit. And so I was just curious if you were hearing from folks about whether or not they were intending to use these garages more for storage or and use another space for their vehicle, or truly to have 2 vehicles still and just have one in a garage and one outside of a garage. And like I said, none of that is, I know that just sometimes we put a lot of resources and devote a lot of land to parking here. And so I was just curious as sort of a touch point back to the market on what you're hearing to that end. So thanks for that information.
Sure, yeah.
That's all I have. Those are the only questions I have. Thanks.
Thanks, Jen. All set? Will, you all set? All right.
Thank you.
I do have a motion here. Oh, verify. Okay, yep. I move to approve the project titled Downs Cross Street Condominiums proposed by Crossroads Holdings LLC. The project is depicted in plan set prepared by M&R Holdings and Acorn Engineering dated 7/17/25. The application is approved with the following findings and conditions. Findings. The project replaces structured carports with 5 enclosed garage structures to provide a total of 45 parking bays. The total amount of parking spaces will remain unchanged from the previously approved amount of 169 spaces, utilizing 7 on-street spaces. The planning board finds the project meets the requirements of the site plan review and zoning ordinances with the following conditions. Condition 1, all conditions from the February 20th, 2024 amended site plan approval shall remain in effect. Condition 2, address comments in the staff memo dated 9/15/2025. And 3, address planning board comments discussed in the 9/15/25 meeting. This includes verifying manual override is available for nighttime use.
Second.
All right, Roger, step right on. Doreen, would you like to take the roll?
Rick King,
Yes.
Rachel Hendrickson,
Yes.
Roger Bailey.
Yes.
Jennifer Ladd,
Yes.
and James Hebert.
Yes.
Thank you. Thanks,
Very much.
Dan. And believe it or not, I believe we're on our last one. Wasn't the last September, a year ago, one of the shortest meetings we ever had? And that was the meeting I missed?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was just trying to make sure I wasn't growing old too fast. All right, let's move on to action item 4.06, Acorn Engineering on behalf of Shore Capital Real Estate Partners Holding Company LLC is requesting amended site plan review for a parking expansion at 29 First Street, Assessors Map U47, Lot 69. Helen, want to give us a rundown?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. So this is an amended site plan review at 29 First Street. The proposal is for a 12-stall parking lot in the area between the existing structure and Route 1, which we have a visual of in addition to what's on the screen now. This would be adding 7,650 square feet of impervious cover to the site. It will require 2 EV-capable, 2 EV-ready spaces, which is slightly less than what's shown on the site plan. So we have a note on that in the motion as well in our memo. And this is in the TBC district. And we have a site plan for your reference as well. And then just after that, we also have an aerial view showing the site and the existing parking, as well as some of the proposed traffic improvements that would be part of this proposal that we've discussed with the applicant prior to this. And the applicant is available for any questions.
Thank you, Helen. And for the applicant?
Sure. My name is Alexis Del Vecchio. I am a landscape architect at Acorn Engineering. And we have Eleanor Roberts, who's in civil engineer. We also completed the work with Craig Burgess, who couldn't be here tonight. But as Helen mentioned, this is a proposal for a new parking lot between Route 1 and the existing facility. The animal hospital itself would not be expanded. It's really to provide additional sort of accommodations to facilitate the users of the animal hospital, creating this additional parking area and a walkway both to the existing cat and dog entrances to the facility, as well as a kind of bereavement room entrance that was recently added to the project. We're managing stormwater on site via a rain garden. We've also proposed a number of plantings at the foundation of the building, as well as screening the parking lot. We're hoping to, preserve existing pines on site. Those are not directly in the footprint of the parking lot. And those preservation methods are through added sort of tree protection fencing. Beyond that, we have a number of items that Helen mentioned in terms of improvements to the intersection around the property entrance. We've also been incorporating some of the comments from staff and peer review comments, just some simple things in terms of adding some spot grades to the plans, revising the rain garden detail. Beyond that, there are essentially 2 items that we want to call to the attention of the board. One is a request regarding the rain garden test pit. We sort of respectfully request that the board considers us to complete the test pit in 2 stages. The first being via hand auger. So it would be 3 feet below the existing grade of that rain garden area. And then at the onset of construction, when sort of heavy equipment is sort of mobilized on site, we'd be completing the sort of test pit, the full depth, which would be 3 feet below the basin or the proposed basin elevation of the rain garden, which is about 5 feet in total. So, and this would just be to limit kind of the mobilization of heavy equipment in the area. And then the other item, what we want to bring the board's attention to was regarding a request for additional streetlight at the property driveway. Acorn did, this was sort of a peer review request. Acorn completed a site visit at night to kind of have a sense of what the illumination was from a streetlight across the street, across First Street on Sunset Road. We initially thought this would be sufficient. We've subsequently completed a sort of updated photometric plan, which shows minimal illumination directly at that driveway intersection. However, the applicant feels that the current condition is sufficient. It's been kind of what they've been operating with before, particularly with limited nighttime activity into the hospital. So they request consideration for not completing that additional streetlight element. But so those are the 2 items that we'd love comments from the board on. The other items that were noted in the peer review and staff comments, we would be updating accordingly, including the site lighting on site to bring it up to the town standard, whatnot. And I think that's it.
Okay, thank you. This item is available for public comment, but we don't have much of a public here tonight. But I don't want to forget the virtual land.
No hands up.
All right. We'll close public comment and turn this over to my colleagues. Anyone want to start? James?
I'll lead this off. Can you tell me what are the normal hours, operation, start and close?
It's about 8 to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, I believe. There may be one of those days that ends at 5, and then a reduced hours on the weekends.
Okay, great. I guess my comment with referring to the street light that's there, I don't see it as really critical and necessary, especially being this close to dense residential area, the Honeywell spot, the other developments that are in there as well. And I know that they are particularly sensitive to lighting pollution in that space. And if the good business isn't going to be operating later at night, and the only person that would be in there would be the owner, I don't really see the need to put in another light fixture just to light up at night that we're going to ask them to turn off during off hours. So that's my thought on that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thanks, James. Roger?
Thank you. When I first read this proposal, I was trying to figure out why do you want the extra parking? Okay, so about a week ago, I was driving along the connector, Scarborough connector, and I decided just to swing through there. And you had cars parked everywhere on the site. I was amazed, just randomly, So I could see right at the, the need for this. And I agree with James on the lighting at the intersection, because That was a critical issue with the Mercedes dealership next door. The neighbors were very critical about all the lighting and everything, so anything you can do to keep the lighting down yet still safe, I think that's good. That's all I have.
Thanks, Roger.
Oh, I do have one more question.
No, Roger. Yes,
Yeah,
go
on the-
ahead.
On the rain garden. Well, that's gonna have flowers.
It's a mix, so there are flowering perennials incorporated. It's a mix
Yeah.
of grasses, some shrubs, so even your shrubs like, and I'm a landscape architect, so I could speak about plants for a long time, probably more than you're interested in, but so an aronia, like a chokeberry, that'll have spring flowers. You'll have flowers that are the flowering perennials, like a rudbeckia or something that's a little bit more herbaceous, but they'll be flowering at different times. It's not going to be a consistent floral arrangement all summer, but it will pop up at different times throughout the seasons.
Okay, the reason I brought it up is, I know we've requested those or asked for those in the Downs in the Innovation District. And on Highland Avenue going into South Portland from Pleasant Hill Road, there's right by the high school, there's a corner lot with wildflowers. Yeah. And now that may not be a traditional rain garden, but all I know is since July, it looks like just dead weeds. And I don't know if anybody's had a chance to take a look at the Innovation District and see how that looks. Any idea?
Yeah, you're talking about the butterfly wildflower mix in the Innovation District?
Yeah.
You know, that it looks like grasses. It looks actually healthy and doesn't look like an eyesore. I know what you're talking
I
about.
wouldn't say it's an eyesore, and I don't want.
All right, that's what
Okay.
you said. I will say, I know what you're talking about in South Portland. That was, they literally took their entire lawn and did a
They just threw some seed in there.
plastic over it, killed everything, and then did really a natural wildflower.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's for pollinators. It's for
Yeah.
it's about having a natural lawn or not having a lawn. So that's just a different level. So that's not what they're proposing.
Okay, good. All right.
That's probably a more traditional, like a seeded
Yeah.
meadow.
Meadow,
This
yeah.
is
But
a
in a
designed- yeah,
urban setting, it does stand out.
yeah, sure, I can imagine, for sure.
Okay, I can accept that then.
Are you all set, Roger?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? Rachel?
I just wanted to say that I did take a look at the landscaping and I think you've done a wonderful job.
Thank you. Jen?
I have a question about so on the plan, on the site plan, there is in our packet, it looks like the property lines are identified in red, which is very helpful. But it looks like there's a linear parcel that's identified as Sunset Road with parking in it. Is that owned by this owner?
It's a little bit of an unusual situation.
Is
and
it a road? Is it a parking
It
lot?
was, it's a discontinued road.
Okay.
That was then
Mm.
deeded to the property.
Okay,
That's the best way to describe it.
well, we still call it Sunset Road.
Yeah, well, I guess, I don't know anyone that does, but it does
On a
appear like a
plan?
paved street, but it was continued. It was,
Okay.
Yeah, with everything that happened with DOT, there's leftover remaining land.
That's about right.
What's
Okay.
left.
All right. And I'm asking about that because it looks like when finished with what you have proposed, you would have sort of 3 parking areas, all served with sort of single loaded parking, served with a full width drive aisle. And I'm just curious if you looked into any options. I recognize space is tight, but that doesn't maybe mean that you haven't looked into it. So I'm just curious if you looked into options for making either of those other 2 parking areas double loaded. So adding parking spaces on the other side of what is currently a full width drive aisle.
Mhm.
And I say that recognizing that to the south or plan south at least, you're into that buffer space. But that led me to ask the question about this roadway parcel to the north, I think.
So that's a good question. At the onset, we didn't fully appreciate that that piece of the property was part of our property, and we were understanding that it was separate. So we did not necessarily consider double loading that parking zone, particularly as it does come close to the property boundaries and the setbacks. In terms of going sort of north, or planned north, I should say, of the proposed parking lot as well, I guess that would be additional parking, but if one were to sort of remove other parking on the side, we didn't want to eat into the buffer, the green strip buffer on the planned north side along Route 1. And again, like you mentioned, we didn't want to get too close to the residential sort of zone
Mhm.
towards Plan South. So that's why we proposed incorporating the new parking kind of plan north of the facility.
Sure, yeah, so from this area, it looks like there's some mature trees in that, the current buffer area, but I wonder if, like, if you're, like, is it viable to essentially formalize parking where it looks like people are parking on the grass right there?
I mean, I think that's it would be within the setback, even though people are parking there. So hopefully by adding this new parking zone, that they'll be utilizing the sort of more established parking area
Mhm.
versus the informal parking on the grass lawn.
Sure. So is there, yeah, I'm sure that gets messy, because if it's a deed, like, is there a buffer line to adhere to from the far side also?
I don't think they have quite enough
With the
land.
width, yeah, okay. Okay, the 7,000 feet of impervious area was a number that struck me, so, I was just wondering about sort of the back thinking that had gone into maybe making any of those drive aisles, those full width drive aisles, more efficient. Um, but that's helpful. And then maybe a question more for staff than the applicant. Could you go back to the aerial that was just up there? I think that some of these off-site improvements, well, actually, are these proposed to be formalized or curbed or painted?
The thought is, when they came in trying to figure out
Oh,
a-
Jersey barriers.
a
sorry,
better
I didn't-
way, this whole area is just, again, remaining
Yeah,
of past highway infrastructure right at the door that of a very dense neighborhood. So between police, fire, public works, and engineering, we've kind of been circling this, and this seemed like an opportunity to say, can we kind of partner again and looking at, is there a way to square up around First and Sunset? And then also what we're hearing from the residents is people coming off the spur and taking that off ramp and entering the neighborhood at pretty high speeds. And so the thought being is an opportunity to do a demonstration project for the town, which is what I'm showing in red, is an opportunity for like public works to come in and do some striping on the pavement. That's the red. And put up, say, Jersey barriers in those locations where the jug handle was, because you can still come off the ramp. Because Roger, I'm not getting rid of your jug handle. Well, I am, but I'm still allowing that. I think you can still take a left off of that spur, head back to the light. And looking at the turning movements for even a truck to do that is definitely possible. You don't need that big jug handle. So it doesn't really impact turning movements. However, it's an opportunity we could do something temporary. So we put out some Jersey barriers, we put some striping on the pavement, and if it does not work, it's like, oh, didn't really think about that. We can pull it out very easily and say that did not work. So it was an opportunity to do that. At the same time, it made sense to have, say, this entrance kind of square up with Sunset, and so you make that more of a formal four-way intersection. And hoping that that's kind of the first step is, obviously it's only controlled on their access and Sunset. It's not controlled at First Street, that is a through, but it can be something we kind of look at, keep an eye on and
Sure.
monitor.
Probably
if-
pretty low volume too.
Yes, hopefully.
Yeah.
I am told that's also the cut through to get back through Maple. But we can do some analysis and data around that
Yeah.
collection to look at that. in
Okay,
the future.
I was focused on the aerial part of this graphic
Yeah.
and failed to read any of the notes, but now that I read them, it makes a lot of sense. So those are some great notes. And yeah, so that's what caught my attention was like in an effort. So if we have to go to this, if we have to increase the impervious area in this area to facilitate this parking, that leg just seems wildly unnecessary to me that you have proposed to block off with Jersey barriers. And so it sounds like potentially someday maybe that
Hopefully we
might not
improve
need to
pavement.
be impervious. Yeah.
That would be the
A
goal.
little bit of an offset.
But I think this is a good kind of first step to try it out. And then if it works, the demonstration project, yeah, we can do more
Yeah.
with Sunset, more curbed and controlled and actually remove pavement to add to someone's front lawn or remove kind of that really highway infrastructure.
Yeah,
Um,
fast. You don't have large, does this owner require any sort of large trucks coming in or out for deliveries or anything
No.
like that?
We did sort of talk about this actually, this question, and we believe that the largest vehicle will be sort of the trash truck.
Okay,
going in and
yeah,
out of the site.
so that should be fine. Okay, I think that's great. Yeah, thanks.
All set, Jen? Will? All good? I just want to bring up one comment from the Haley Ward. It indicated that there's wetlands here. No?
It indicated they had not done a wetland
Delineation.
delineation yet. We didn't think that there were. We just had asked for some clarity. on that.
Okay, all right, so you got that.
Not yet.
Not yet, but
We will be providing
We'll be
one as a
providing-
condition of approval.
very good. Then I don't have anything to add, so I move to approve the project Title 29 First Street Parking Expansion proposed by Shore Capital Real Estate Partners Holding Corporation LLC. The project is depicted in plan sets prepared by Acorn Engineering dated 8/14/25. The application is approved with following findings and conditions. Findings, the project will include adding a new single-loaded 12-stall parking lot in the area between the existing structure, currently a veterinarian hospital, and US Route 1. The proposal will add 7,650 square feet of impervious cover to the site. The amendment includes a walkway along the parking area connecting to the main entrance and associated landscaping. The planning board finds the project meets the requirements of the site plan review and zoning ordinances with the following conditions. Conditions, 1, prior to the start of construction, the applicant shall schedule a pre-construction meeting. The meeting shall include appropriate town staff, the developer, and their site contractor, and is to be coordinated through the planning department. The below must be addressed prior to scheduling of the pre-construction meeting. A, address comments in the planning memo dated 9/15/25. B, revise the EV charging system parking summary on site plan to show required 2 EV-ready and 2 EV-capable spaces. C, address the comments in the Haley Ward peer review memo dated 9/2/25. D, address the comments in the traffic peer review memo dated 9/25. Oh, okay. Yeah. Address the planning board comments discussed at the 9/15/25 meeting. This includes remove comment 3 from the traffic peer review. Good pickup, thank you. F, provide a final full plan set to the planning department. This shall include all site and civil plans, landscape plans, lighting plans, and architectural renderings and elevations. G, the applicant shall execute and record a stormwater maintenance agreement with the town. The form of the stormwater maintenance agreement is located in Appendix 1 of the Town of Scarborough's Chapter 419, Post-Construction Stormwater Infrastructure Management Ordinance. H, payment of Chapter 19 Stormwater Maintenance Agreement and reporting fee total $750. And I, payment of all review fees and invoices. Condition 2, prior to the issuance of a certificate of completion, the applicant shall A, submit evidence in the form of a letter or plan prepared and stamped by a professional engineer who either prepared the post-construction stormwater management plan and its associated facilities or supervised the plan and facility construction and implementation. The letter of the plan shall certify that the stormwater management facilities have been installed in accordance with the approved post-construction stormwater management plan, and they will function as intended by said plan. B, provide an as-built plan for the site, and C, request an inspection by the planning department to ensure compliance with this planning board approval. Do I have a second?
Second.
May I ask one question? I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Regarding our question with the test pit to be completed in 2 stages, is that,
I think we,
sorry.
I was thinking we could work with you on that with
Okay.
the board, but the street light was a bit more.
Yes, okay. Okay, thank you. Sorry for that.
Oh, no problem. I do believe I heard a second from Rachel. Thank you. Doreen, would you take the roll?
Mike King,
Yes.
Rachel Henderson,
Yes.
Roger Bailey,
Yes.
Jennifer Ladd,
Yes.
and James Hebert.
Yes.
All set.
Thank you so much. We really.
Fire
appreciate
away on all cylinders. All right. Thank you, colleagues. Let's move into the staff reports. 5.01 minor development reviews.
I do have one administrative review that we are taking a look at. It's the entrance modification at 246 US Route 1. It's currently in review. This is the harbor fish. Let me share this with you so you can see. This one will probably come before you in a second phase. The first phase, this entrance off of Route 1, it has a median and they have repeat issues with people getting in the site and out. And so the proposal, we checked with the chair back in August. They've been talking about it for a bit, about just doing this as an entrance only, but we continue to work with them about how to stripe that or if we need the curb to come in. So that way people will be exiting off of the Westwood side. They've also wanted to look at this Fairfield Road, but I've let them know that that would have to come before you all because that one had a lot of concern with the neighbors. And impact.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is the only one really right now.
Well, it's pretty busy place.
Also within 2026, they're still slated to have medians in this area, so that's gonna help with that.
With that
left
just
turn
being,
movement.
yeah.
So on that, talking about, if you're heading south of Route 1
Mhm.
and you want to get in, you would have to get into the turn lane to get in.
Right.
And the access point on I forget what the name of the road is there.
This is Fairfield and this is Westwood.
All right, Westwood, that would be only out.
That's only an exit. That's an exit only now.
Have this entrance.
Just
So
back
basically,
here.
way in, one
Yeah.
entrance going in and one entrance going out.
You can go in Fairfield, you can go in Route 1, and then yes, and you leave out of Westwood or back in the back. It's a really tight site.
So that's it for minor development.
Yes.
Then we're moving to 502 administrative amendment.
That was.
That was
the
administrative, yeah. And then finally, we're at correspondence.
None at this time.
Thank you. And that leaves us to the planning board comments. No. Anybody? I just want to remind my colleagues that we have a meeting in October, but before that meeting is Sustainable Scarborough Day. And it's, I hear, going to be jam-packed with all kinds of good stuff, music, food trucks.
Second, right?
Thank you. The first Sunday in September, or in October. Is that the date, October 5th? And
Just wanted to tell everyone to count know the date.
it's also associated with the huge Drive America event in Maine here. And so there'll be plenty of EVs. And I'm hoping there'll be some EV bikes that people can take for a spin. But anyway, I just want to put that on your radar. Other than that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Rachel. We are adjourned. Oh,
I'll second.
thank you, James. This is official adjournment.